Hello and welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the podcast where we talk about ways in which perimenopause and motherhood collide and explore how we can make life that little bit easier so that we can live a life that lights us up. I'm Amanda Reedy, and today we are going to talk about 5 surprising ways that I feel that I have up-leveled this summer holiday. And to be honest, this is not a conversation that I thought I would be having because, in all honesty, quite often I find the summer holidays to be quite stressful and not particularly easy to navigate. Just because I think when you've got 2 small kids at home, mine are now 9 and 7, you feel that in the summer holidays you want to make these amazing memories. You want there to be day trips, you want there to be endless fun, you want there to be just like so much goodwill going on, no arguing. You just have this in your head quite often. I think many of us have this perfectionism idea of everything just being all rainbows, skipping along, everyone's laughing, everyone's smiling. But in reality, I think we can all definitely say in the summer holidays that is not the case. And believe me, we have had our fair share of arguments, of tantrums, of things being thrown across the room, and that's just me. No, really. That's the kids. They're just getting at each other because you know what kids are like. Siblings are just kind of, when they get together, as much as they love each other, you know that there are times when they disagree on whether it's what they're watching on TV or whether it's something they're playing with or whether it's the recent one that we have is where we take the dog for a walk. One person wants to go one place, someone wants to go somewhere else, and then it all just kicks off. So there's always things going on which makes the summer holidays fairly tricky to navigate. But this year, and I wouldn't say that I have nailed it by all means, in fact far, far from it, but I feel that this year there is a switch. Something has changed which has made the summer just feel that little bit less intense, that little bit, dare I say it, a little bit easier in some ways. And it could very well just be this incredible weather that we have had in the UK. Summer 2026 just doesn't seem to stop, does it, at the moment? Rain? What's that? Nobody knows. A thing of the past. Who knows if it will ever rain again? But at the moment, we have had endless days of sunshine. And I think that makes a huge difference to many things. Mood, the fact that kids can just go and play outside in the garden, the fact that you can just like go for a walk and you don't have to get on all raincoats and take so many other things with you. It just makes things feel a little bit lighter. You can go and sit at the park or you can go somewhere for a walk and that's all great. So maybe that is the case. But I also think that I have had a bit of a uplift in terms of my mental attitude. And I believe this is the work that I have been doing for a while now, because I always say there are 3 things which I believe that we need to really focus on in motherhood and perimenopause to allow us to thrive. And these are movement, moving regularly, nourishing ourselves, so eating well, but also nourishing our mind with good stuff, and also our mindset. And I believe that I have been working on these 3 things now in a way which has allowed me to take a slightly different view of this summer and how this summer is going. So with my 3 pillars, which I talk about in all of the different work that I do with my clients, I am still doing my morning workouts in the summer holidays. I am still ensuring that I'm eating well most of the time. I'm allowing myself treats because on a day trip, who doesn't like an ice cream or a nice coffee with like a little bit of skill or something? You know what I mean? All these different little bits and pieces to make it a bit more exciting. But I've also been making sure that we are outside and looking at all the things. We have had so much wildlife in our garden. The butterflies have been incredible. And there was a week where a butterfly came in and visited us every single day. And I'm pretty sure it's the same one. I'm thinking it's a sign about something, some kind of magic from the universe coming in to say hello. But there's been so much going on. There's been so many different things to see. And the kids have also been wowed by it. We've been growing stuff. We've been growing some carrots, which they've been love picking and eating for dinner. We've started growing cucumbers. We've been growing strawberries. It's been really fun just to see all of these natural things growing in our garden. And just allowing us to be nourished in that way is just, it's great, it's natural, and it's fairly straightforward and cost effective and easy. And then also I have continued with my journaling practice. So every morning I journal on 3 things which I am grateful for. I write down thank you for the great news that I'm going to receive today, because when you expect great news to come, guess what? Great news comes every single day. And sometimes it's big news, like, I don't know, an invitation to go for a lovely meal with a friend, for example, or something like somebody's getting better when they've been poorly, or just something really small like a friend that wasn't able to meet up is now available and you can go and see them. So it's just the way that you look at things. So I've been doing my journaling practice every day, and then at the end of the day I also reflect on daily magic and miracles. So what's happened in that day which has been just lovely, joyful, something that's made me smile. They're not massive things, but when you look for the little things which go on in a day, it can make life seem so much more magical. So I've been carrying on with my practices to allow myself to move regularly, going for lots of walks as well, nourishing my mind with good food and good actions, and showing up well for the people around me. And then also taking care of my mind, giving myself time and space just to be quiet, just to reflect and just to see what's going on. And I really think that these 3 pillars, which I have in my life and I use with my clients, just really have helped me to be more grounded during the summer holidays. So, as I said at the beginning, this episode is all about 5 things which I feel have helped me up-level my summer holidays. And I'm going to go through them and say what they are and why I also believe they have helped me up-level. So, the first one, I think, is about how I have approached the summer this year. So, previously, I have tried to be really, well, I've done it 2 ways. I've tried different things, and actually this approach I believe works. So sometimes during the summer holidays, I have literally approached it with no plans. I've gone in completely cold turkey, not knowing what I'm doing one day to the next, and tried to be a bit spontaneous. And to be honest, that does not work for me. Being completely spontaneous all the time, I can't deal with it. I've got a lot of respect for people that can, but I genuinely need a plan. And I believe last year I went in with the complete other end of the spectrum, where I had plans for pretty much every single day. There was day trips, holiday camps, meetups, all of these things, and I think that was a little bit too extreme. Whereas this year I have planned the summer holidays, but I have also really tried to plan in buffer time, so that we have got things going on, we have got day trips booked in, we have got meetups with friends, the kids are doing a few days in holiday clubs, just because I think that they get sick of me. In fact, I know they get sick of me every single day. So they get to go and have time away from each other, from me, from the house, see something different, see their friends, and they really like it, really, even though there is often a little bit of resistance sometimes in the morning when they're going. But having a plan with buffer time, where we've also just had chill out days where the kids have just literally watched TV for quite a lot of the day or played on the Switch, and genuinely allowing myself to be much more relaxed about this, I believe has actually been really, really helpful and up-leveled the way that I felt. Because my view on screen time is, I'm happy for them to have screen time. I think it's really good. I think they can learn a lot from it. TV is great for downtime, and I really believe that screen time should be allowed, because I think when you restrict things completely, when they're not allowed iPads or they're not allowed consoles and stuff like that, I think that has opposite effect, because then when they are given those opportunities, they're like on it, and it can cause more problems. So I think moderate time on screens and things like that, I think is acceptable. But I always do worry if I feel they've had too much time or I'm giving them too much time. What I've done this year is I have said, right, you can have this amount of time and then a little break, and then you can have a little bit of time extra later, rather than being really hard with, yes, this is how much you're having, or no, this is how much you're not having. And that seems to work. And actually, they seem to appreciate it and know that the boundaries are in place. The other thing that I've done this year, which has been a really big game changer, is I've just got a small whiteboard. And at the beginning of each day, we sit down and we write on there loose timings for the day and what we're doing with our day. So everybody knows that this is the plan for the day and this is what's going to happen. And it's not been militant. It's not like at 12:30 we have lunch, because quite often it's either a little bit earlier, a little bit later, depending on how people are feeling. But having a plan, and a loose plan at that, has been really helpful, because the kids then know what's going on, where they're going, what they're doing, and it has made a big difference. And it's also made me feel a bit more organised on a daily basis, where I don't have to necessarily be massively organised up front. We can just do a little plan on the day, and everyone knows what's going on and what's happening. And that makes them really happy. So that's been a good up leveler and a game changer. As an addition to that as well, the only thing that I have really planned in is a few day trips. So we are going to the zoo, which is going to be really fun. And we have been to a Hobble Down Heath in Hounslow. We went there last week and that was amazing. They had a kids' phone party, which was hilarious, and the kids loved it, as well as like those big Zorb balls that they could like go in like big hamster wheels, and it was great. I really recommend it. And we're then going to Kew Gardens as well, just for a little day trip. And none of these are particularly expensive ones. I think I managed to find special offers for all of them. And they just break up the week. So I've done a few little day trips. We haven't broken the bank, taken picnics, and it's just been really fun. It's been really lovely. So that is my first way that I have up-leveled this holiday. I have built in plans, I've added in buffer time, and I have done like a little daily schedule each day, each morning, so the kids know what's going on. And it seems, so far, touch wood, to be working. So long may that continue. Number 2 on how I've up-leveled this summer is by creating little luxury moments in each day. So what I mean by this is things such as, I found or remembered that we had a milk frother. So I don't know if you've got one of these. I know you can get different types. You can get different ones which like mini whisks, or you can get little heaters which like mix up the milk. Anyhow, I remembered that we had one. So I have been making myself frothy coffees. It's always hard to say, isn't it? So just like making a proper coffee with frothy milk on top and making a cappuccino or a flat white, and actually like sitting down to enjoy it. A little luxury, very simple, but it is up leveling my day because it feels much more fancy than just a bit of instant coffee in a little mug. Secondly, we have been sitting outside for our dinners. That is so lovely. And I really found that eating outside is really calming. It seems to be, I don't know, maybe it's the effect of nature, maybe it's just being outside, seeing around, and that everything is vast. Everyone seems to really enjoy it. Everything seems to be a lot calmer. Everything seems to be a lot quieter. And meal times have just been just that bit more relaxed. It feels almost like you're abroad and you're on holiday, which the kids kind of are. But you know what I mean, when you go on holiday and you eat outside on a nice terrace. I'm not saying that terrace is delightful, because it's not. My grass, my non-existent grass, is like a sand pit. So it's basically like sitting next to a dirt trap whilst eating. But when you look around and you look up, you see the blue skies and all of that. It just feels great. And then just having nice things like nice salads and nice foods has been just an absolute game changer, because we're not having like big meals. It just feels a bit more indulgent, doesn't it? When you go on holiday and you have a nice salad and you have something extra in it that you wouldn't normally do. Just putting in bits like that has made a big difference. So I have been allowing little luxuries which have up-leveled my life in the summer. Number 3. Now this is a huge one for me. This summer I have actually decluttered, tidied, gone through a whole load of rooms and a whole load of stuff and thrown things out. This is a game changer for me, because what I have found is I have always been really fearful of throwing stuff out, of getting rid of stuff, of even just attempting to like go through things which I know have been sat in my house for years. And I talked about this when I interviewed Nat Ward, who is a professional declutterer, and said how fearful I am of doing it. But actually, I've taken inspiration. I have cleared out the kids' room. I have cleared out the kitchen. I've also cleared out the garage. And it has been a game changer. It has allowed space. It has allowed brain space. It has allowed thinking space. And also, the house just seems much bigger. And I think during the summer, you need space. You want space. And so allowing this to happen has been huge, and we took it to the tip. It's all been thrown away. I've got a few bags left to go to the charity shop, but that has made me feel really good, and I'm actually really surprised by it. And even more surprising is each day now I seem to be doing a bit more of a tidy, just a small area. So doing things in small amounts and approaching things differently has really, really worked. Number 4 in my summer up-leveling has actually been allowing myself to rest, to relax, to sit down with the kids when they're watching TV. I mean, I kind of sit there, I don't necessarily watch what they're watching, but I'm there. And just being with them a little bit more and allowing myself just to have a few moments just to sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And it has been really lovely. We've had movie nights, we have done just things quietly, reading. We've done a bit more reading, which has been really nice. My son is really enjoying George's Marvellous Medicine at the moment, and so we've been reading that a lot, and it's just been so nice. And normally I'm rushing around, I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to make dinner, I'm trying to do all these different things, but it is just a different world to allow yourself to actually take the time to rest and to be present and just to be together as a family. So again, if you do that already, you are very, very clever. But it's just something that I haven't done so much, and I'm pleased I'm trying it now. Final thing, number 5, that I've been doing to up level this summer is inspiration taken from Joe Ferroni and Leah Wren, who I've interviewed recently as well on the podcast, about saying yes to fun, saying yes to opportunity, and allowing yourself to kind of get involved with what the kids are doing. So we went down to Devon earlier on in the summer, and my husband suggested we do this giant, mega, monster slip and slide as a family. And I was like, oh, I'm really not sure that I want to do this. And I was just like, I wasn't up for it. But anyhow, I said yes, and guess what? It was amazing. It was so fun. It was just like an hour of this like giant inflatable slide. There was bodyboards, there was donuts, there was these giant inflatable things that you could sit on and zoom down, and it was just brilliant. The kids loved it, I loved it, my husband loved it, and really it's something I'd be like, oh, I just watch the kids normally, but I did it, and I am so delighted that I did. So what I'm suggesting that you do is try one of these things to up level your summer. And the reason that these things are surprising to me and how they've made me feel is because generally I either plan within an inch of my life or I don't plan anything and I panic being in both situations. I won't allow myself little luxuries. I would never approach tidying or decluttering in a way that I have this summer. And I also wouldn't allow myself to say yes to fun. So the fact that I've actually done these things and they have made me feel great have been absolutely game changing. And being halfway through the summer now, I'm genuinely really looking forward to the next few weeks to see what I can do more of these things and how they make me feel. So I really hope that this episode has resonated. I'd love to hear what you have done this summer, which you have been surprised about and has made you feel great. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please click follow, leave a review, or share it with another mum who might need it too. Because remember, thriving isn't about feeling happy all the time. It's about building the habits, the strength and resilience that help you moving forward, even when life feels messy. And boy, does life feel messy in the summer holidays. Hope you have a brilliant week ahead.